Guys, it's actually incredibly obvious why things are failing for a lot of these car manufacturers. It's incredibly obvious, but for some reason, they don't see it. Okay, so now during the 19, when everyone was basically stuck in the house, right? People were earning and saving. Well, how about this? Being able to save copious amounts of money. All right, their bank accounts were looking very healthy because they were not going outside like that. There was a whole lot of craziness going on outside. Who wants to deal with that? No one. Right now, so these companies got super comfortable. They were like, listen, oh wow, everyone has more savings now, so maybe everyone is now going to want to buy cars. So how about this? Supply and demand. Let's go ahead and make cars more expensive than they have ever been in history, to the point where work trucks are now $100,000+ guys. All right, at this time, they've gone down now, but at the time. Put yourself in the mind of 2019, 2020, let's say. And then they were like, oh, people are buying them still. So let's go ahead and leave the prices as high as they've ever been in history. What do you mean? People would buy like Jeep, Dodge, Ram, all these companies, these companies that Stellantis basically owns, right? If you think your American truck is American still, it's not, right? It's not, unless it's a Ford, right? Potentially. But yeah, that's the reality. They got way too comfortable with month after month, year after year, booming profits to the point where they refuse to understand that was a specific time in our history. It is not something that could be, maintained. No one is telling you to put these vehicles that expensive. No one is telling you to do that. Right? Why is a Jeep Wrangler Rubicon $392 almost $100,000? Why is that a thing? What do you mean by that? Okay. See, every single time I think in our history that a foreign manufacturer or foreign company has decided to purchase an American car company, what has happened? It basically went to the toilet. Like, we have actual history of them doing this. They generally do not grasp the American market as much as they think. They just see, Americans have money compared to the rest of the world, obviously. Even the poorest Americans are richer than some of the, people that are doing well anywhere else, right? And so this is the reality. These guys are here to basically milk us by saying that a Silverado should cost $100,000 or a Tahoe should cost $160,000, $200,000 occasionally, right? What is going on? And they're confused. To be honest, they're thoroughly, absolutely confused why people are not going out, running, right, top speed to their dealerships. Are you confused? For some reason, I don't think we are. You, right? You. I'm talking to you. Fourth wall break here. Okay. Are you confused? Let me know. Because I don't think you are. Okay. It's the people over there that are trying to dictate how much things should cost in our market. And they don't grasp it. They think, we're rich, so we can afford it. But that's not the case, bro. All right? Calm down, Stellantis. Calm down. And I'm a Jeep guy, okay? I collect Jeeps. I have multiple Jeep Wranglers and Gladiators, okay? I love Jeep. I'm a Jeep fanboy, okay? And I refuse to buy a new one until these prices come back down to reality. $40,000+ for a Wrangler? What are you talking about? When did that happen? Okay, $90,000? Come on, you crazy. You are crazy, all right? But anyway, let's go and hear their excuses, guys. The name of the video is Why Jeep and Dodge's parent company, Stellantis, is struggling. Bro. Let's encounter this together. This is a suggestion via Discord.
You may or may not have heard the name Stellantis, but you certainly know at least some.
Let's see what we got here. This is Fiat. Alpha Chrysler is gone right now, bro. Do not go out and look at any type of Chryslers right now. And Ram is overpriced. Bro, matter of fact, hold on. Everything is overpriced. Definitely stay away from Maserati. 100%. And the reason why I say this is go ahead and spend a stupid amount of money, $200,000, $300,000 on a Maserati just for you to drive it off the lot and lose 60% of your value instantly. Yeah, guys. All right.
Some of its 14 brands, 4 of them American. Stellantis is the fifth largest automaker in the world. It had a banner year in 2023, but 6 months later, the company is struggling. After hitting a high in March 2024, shares
America
have
is
fallen by
struggling.
more than half, and shareholders are losing enthusiasm.
The whole discussion on Stellantis has basically collapsed. We're not talking about free cash flows. We're not talking about long-term EV strategy. We're not talking.
And this is terrible. No one wants this, Stellantis. No one wants this nonsense. Okay? Stop being disrespectful to the car people, bro. Because to be honest, the ones who would go out and buy this brand new Challenger, okay, do not want this nonsense. They don't. Put a V8 in it, then maybe. But see, the thing is that a lot of these companies are trying to just completely obliterate the V8. And by doing that, you're getting rid of the people who actually would buy this car in the first place. I think aesthetically, the new Challenger Charger, it looks decent, guys, right? But I think this is an EV, guys. And again, the people who want that car do not want this nonsense. How do you go from the Hellcat Scat Pack to this nonsense? How? And it's not even fast. Let me know. Well, yeah, they have like Bluetooth speakers or so on the outside of it that give like fictitious engine sounds, guys. Stop playing.
About market position.
I'm sorry. I'm
China
enraged.
Motor joint venture, we're only talking about how much will it cost the company to get rid of the US inventory.
As a result of the disappointing US sales, profits have fallen by nearly 50% and market share is down.
Good. Maybe they will lower the prices to normality.
It is an understatement to say that H1 2024 results were disappointing and humbling.
The dealer body, and evidently the UAW as well, believes we're on a bad track that was all self-inflicted.
On September 30th, 2024, the company slashed its forecasts for full-year profitability and cash flow. The stock plunged nearly 13% by closing. There is mounting pressure on Stellantis' CEO and calls for him to
he has to go, bro.
So how did Stellantis get to this place, and can it recover?
And some random American needs to buy it. Let's just be honest here. Oh, that Jeep Wagoneer is another trash vehicle.
Check out these charts. There's Stellantis' financial results for the first half of 2024. The stock...
Okay, sorry. The Jeep Wagoneer is not... I'm sorry, the Wagoneer. There's no Jeep branding at all on the Wagoneer. I get it. Don't argue with me. All right? I hear you. Right? But the problem is with the Wagoneer is that the Wagoneer has one of the worst resale values of any of the Jeeps, of any of the Stellantis vehicles. Like, if you think Maserati is bad, go buy that Wagoneer, that unbranded Jeep. Go buy it. You are going to lose so much money on it. Immediately, that specific vehicle holds no value.
Stock's full-year performance as of early October. Shares have fallen from a high of $29.51 in March to just above $13.
I dumped right around here.
And it's mostly due to poor U.S. sales of its American brands. It isn't the only automaker going through tough times, but it is one that has lost significant market share to its rivals over the last 3 years. In September, several officers of Stellantis' National Dealer Council sent an open letter to the company, accusing management of being behind the troubles. Dave Kelleher is a Dodge, Jeep, Ram, and Chrysler dealer in Pennsylvania. 3 years ago, dealers like Kelleher were earning profits of about 4.5% of sales, which is strong for the industry. The benchmark is 4%. But now Kelleher says the average is less than 1%.
That's caustic. We have 900 dealers in the country that are actually losing money and a bunch that are really close to it.
In the same time period, the values of those dealerships have plummeted from 5 to 5.5 times earnings to 1 to 2 times, depending on the dealership's location. Kelleher is selling 100 cars a month, whereas he used to sell about 185. As of mid-September, he had 473 cars on his lot, collectively worth about $27 million.
I hope they still sit there too, bro.
Buy their cars directly from the automaker.
Right.
Kelleher has been selling these cars his entire career and has seen the ups and downs. This time, he says the troubles are of Stellantis' own making.
Dealer morale's at low. Corporate morale's at an all-time low. So I would suggest that this company, I don't know what their end plan is, because they certainly don't tell us. But for 2.5 years, we've explained to them that we think we're on a bad path and nothing's been done to it.
The dealers aren't the only discontent stakeholders. The United Auto Workers Union has been threatening to strike again. And earlier in 2024, Stellantis suppliers were halting production over pricing disputes. The disputes have spilled into the courts.
North America operations were, highly profitable and kind of
Of course
seen
they
as a
were.
little bit of a cash cow, maybe.
Of course they were. That's how it seems all of these outside countries look at the United States of America as a cash cow. Like if you sell something, you definitely want it to be sold in the United States of America so you can up the price. Like look at the price of medicine here in the United States of America versus literally the same exact thing across any border. Right? Every single country on this planet takes advantage of us consistently. And so when some of the largest brands in the United States of America get sold to a foreign nation, what exactly did you think was going to happen with the product that they sold directly to Americans? Right? A Jeep should not cost $100,000. I'm sorry, bro. A Ram should not cost $100,000. They're used primarily for work back in the day. Now, like if you ever notice, guys, for example, these trucks used to all come with like the bare minimum packages. They have learned and decided that we're only going to give premium or like super premium packages in all of the dealerships. So when you go to the dealership, the chance of you actually finding a base model anything is basically gone because they don't make it, right? Unless you specifically order that thing. And it's just so they can sell that $40,000 truck for $100,000, $120,000. It's all like every single country, it seems, is just trying to take advantage. And Stellantis is legitimately no different. And I love Jeep, guys. Crazy.
The idea was it could run itself with not much influence, but it still needed support.
Stellantis has only existed for about 3.5 years. It was
get rid of
created
them.
out of a merger of two major automakers, France's Group PSA, sometimes known as Peugeot, and
Right.
Fiat Chrysler, which was itself a merger of two other companies,
Right.
the Italian maker Fiat and the American Chrysler, a company with a long and tumultuous history.
Chrysler has always been the weakest of the three major producers in the United States.
It had the smallest market share of the Detroit Three, the three major automakers based out of Detroit, Michigan. Here's what volumes looked like for the Detroit Three in 2007, 1 year before the financial crisis. By 2009, Chrysler and GM both went bankrupt.
Chrysler will file for bankruptcy after failing to reach a deal with some of its debt holders.
Then came the merger with Fiat.
The continuity of Chrysler was at risk. So whether you like this decision or not, it is the only path that kept Chrysler alive.
It's gone through certainly more than one near-death experience in my lifetime. And it's a testament really to the brains and work ethic of the people at the company that have really pushed Chrysler back to the brink each time.
A revival followed under the leadership of former FCA CEO, the late Sergio Marchionne, whose turnaround at Chrysler was at times considered miraculous and at others marred by controversy.
He went in and he understood that he needed to make these brands like superstars. So he went into the engineering and he built the entire product portfolio. He found these people that really were terrific, like a Tim Kuniskis, for example, who took Dodge brand and just made Dodge brand vibrant again.
You know how they did that? With the V8. That's how they did it. They did it with the 6.4 Hemi. They brought it back. Okay. So what makes you think, Stellantis? What makes you think that there was ever going to be any type of joy or happiness from the American market? Again, for some reason, you don't grasp the American market. The American market is not exclusively California, for example, right? Like if it was just California, then I could see you randomly throwing some EV and some speakers, and then that would absolutely sell. But nah, bro, it doesn't work like that, right? It doesn't. Put that V8, put that 6.4 Hemi back into that car, and it'll sell. It'll sell out immediately, right? Just a thought.
The Jeep, Dodge, and Ram brands all set sales records in 2018. The Ram truck was taking share from its competitors, the F-150 and the Silverado. The Dodge Challenger was a muscle car, a declining segment, and the car itself saw few significant updates over its lifetime. But that didn't matter. It eventually outsold both the Chevrolet Camaro and the Ford Mustang. Despite all the success, Fiat Chrysler's board was long known for looking for a deal. First with the American GM, then the French maker Renault, and then Peugeot.
Welcome back. Jeep parent company Fiat Chrysler merging with European automaker Peugeot to create the fourth largest automaker in the world.
Peugeot had a strong presence in Europe. The company had already bought GM's Opel and Vauxhall brands. In some sense, it seemed like a natural fit.
No,
the two
it
companies
didn't.
in that sense were already very accustomed to co-developing products together. They knew each other's cultures already because they've been in heavy collaboration for since the 80s on those commercial vehicles. So culturally, it made sense.
But there was also the opportunity to cut costs.
Guys, it didn't make any sense. Every single time a French company has attempted to purchase an American automaker, that company has started its decline of failure. The thing about it is, right, specifically when it comes to trucks and Jeeps, for example, we actually have places where we can off-road, all right? Like that the Pentastar 3.6 that's in the Jeeps, or 3.8, I think it's a 3.6. Pentastar, right? That is a very important engine for us Jeepers, right? Like it gives us just enough power and torque to kind of get out of a lot of situations when we're off-road. Okay, so the thought process of this company specifically, right, Peugeot, was to basically make a 2-liter turbo. And say, you know what? Yeah, it's fine. Bro, this is not Europe, okay? Leave that engine how it was, please. It's lasted how long? Right? Think about that for a second, bro. From the JKs to the JLs, the JTs, to the JLUs, JKU, all of these models of Jeeps, bro, have used the same exact engine. What are you doing? Right? Again, bro, this is not Europe. We actually can go off-road, right? But either way, keep in mind, guys, I lived half the year in Europe, so this is why I'm kind of yelling at Europe right now, right? Because there's no off-roading in Europe. Not like that. Not like we do in the States, bro, right? They're just ruining all of our vehicles.
Costs and save billions of dollars through synergies, such as sharing parts and platforms. This could also reduce the burden of investing in extremely expensive new technologies like EVs, automated driving, and software. And of course, pay money out to shareholders.
And at first, the market was quite doubtful whether Stellantis could pull off the $5 billion in synergies between the two companies that they had announced. They didn't only manage to pull out the $5 billion, they managed to pull out kind of $8 billion, and then they stopped counting.
Bro, bring Manley back right now.
In the merger, the coronavirus pandemic hit. The factory shutdowns,
Here we go.
Supply chain disruptions, and materials shortages severely constrained supply. Dealers made up for the lack of inventory by raising prices on the cars they could sell.
And they love those
Customers
prices.
paid, and dealers made profits.
Now, everybody knew that this was a short-term situation.
No, not
Eventually, people
Stellantis.
would go back to work, supply chains would correct, and vehicle profits would go back down towards where they were.
As the pandemic rolled on, automakers started raising prices too. Stellantis did it much more aggressively than others.
And you wonder
so
why?
Jeep Wrangler, which used to be pretty, basic vehicle, very affordable vehicle, increased 30+% during the pandemic. That's more than their comparable vehicles did.
The company also started releasing some very pricey new models, including the Wagoneer and Grand Wagoneer, two 3-row SUVs priced starting at around $60,000 and going all the way up to $120,000.
Yeah, every time I've seen them, they were well over 100, and then you look at them in like 1 year, they're like $60,000.
That's a stratosphere that Jeep has never been in before.
Right? What are you talking about?
Range Rover. You're competing with Escalade.
The price hikes, along with the internal cost cuts, provided Stellantis with a year of record sales, profits, and cash flow.
That's a
things
surprise.
were already beginning to slip.
Over the course of the pandemic, products weren't being refreshed, products were kind of starting to languish, yet the positioning and pricing was going up. And consumers certainly voted with their pocketbooks and went elsewhere.
And bro, and I wanted one of these Power Wagons too. I wanted one of them. And I looked at it and I was just like, what do you mean? Tell me the price again. You're crazy.
There were product quality issues, including on new and high-priced vehicles, such as the Wagoneer models.
If you want to charge a premium price for your product, the consumer is going to expect extra features, extra benefits. They want to enjoy that product. And if it's in the shop a lot because the fan is so loud in the Wagoneer, or that AC doesn't reach the third row, or other quality issues that Stellantis has had with its products, they're not going to recommend that vehicle to their friends.
Nope.
At the same time, the company
Not at all.
cleaned house, removing models it no longer considered sufficiently profitable or worth producing. For example, the Jeep Renegade, Jeep Cherokee, and the Chrysler 300. But the Cherokee was a mass-market mid-size SUV that used to compete with top sellers like the Toyota RAV4 and
Yeah, until the price went crazy. No one's buying that for that, bro.
Honda CR-V.
Crazy.
The Renegade was in the popular and relatively inexpensive subcompact SUV segment.
Inexpensive.
Chrysler 300 was one of the automaker's last sedans, key to bringing customers into the brand and hopefully keeping them for years or even a lifetime.
We had the best SUV lineup in America. We had a great Ram truck. We had commercial vehicles. We had sedans. I had a full menu. We don't have that anymore.
The Charger and Challenger were folded into one nameplate. The closely related Chrysler 300 is gone, and the company's big V8 engines are being swapped for smaller inline-six ones.
Which really bothers our Ram customers.
What I tell you.
And the turbo engine is not a bad engine. And
no, it's not. It's not.
The same horsepower and torque as the Hemi, but that doesn't matter to our customers.
No, what I tell you. I see it like this here. The Ram TRX is a beautiful vehicle in terms of how it sounds when we start it up. Again, gigantic supercharged V8, what we're looking at right here. SRT branded, right? And then obviously that super stereotypical, let's say, sound that the supercharger makes, right? Supercharger makes. Everyone loves it. And you're going to now say, we're going to go ahead and make a 2025, Ram TRX, but I think it's like RHO or something like that. But you're going to twin turbo inline six engine. Yeah, you're going to get similar numbers, definitely, but it's going to sound like a V6, bro. See, this is where the foreign individuals that are basically running the company just completely don't grasp the market that they're in, right? While raising the prices higher. If you raise the price, like if you make that RHO expensive, no one's buying that, bro. Who would want an inline six supercharged? Twin turbo inline six. Who wants that compared to what it had before? You're just going to make these older cars now that actually have it, like a 2024, 2023 TRX, more valuable. Great job, bro.
I mean, that Hemi was legendary.
Yeah.
The Dodge Hornet, a newish small SUV based on an Alfa Romeo product, hasn't sold well.
The Hornet, as you know, has been sort of a flop in the marketplace. It has one of the highest day supply of any vehicle in the U.S. market right now. It's not priced right, and it's too small compared to the competition.
Of all the brands in the U.S., Stellantis brands are among those sitting on dealer lots the longest.
They're the most expensive.
5 of the 8 brands with the most day supply are all Stellantis brands, including every Chrysler brand. That means they aren't selling. Dealers like Kelleher say this is due to high prices overall. He estimates that the average price of the cars on his lot is about $60,000. The average price for all dealers is far lower.
The market is really worried that to move those cars that are sitting on dealer lots, Stellantis will need to give hard, cold cash to dealers to get those cars out the door.
Dealers and analysts say the company is starting to offer some incentives to try to move cars off their lots and make way for the 2025 models Stellantis is hoping to sell them.
We appreciate the fact that they finally heard us and gave us some money to help us sell these cars, but it's probably not enough.
It's not enough.
Perspective. It would have been much cleaner if they had kitchen sinked it on Q2 or the Capital Markets Day and had said, look, we're just going to take a bunch of money, put that on the cars, we'll get the cars moving, and we'll go back to a good business. But that's not what they did. Basically, Carlos set targets for the North American team, and when the North American team did not achieve those targets, he simply started exchanging management.
A lot of former top Chrysler executives have left the company in recent years, such as former Dodge CEO Tim Kuniskis and former Jeep and Ram executive Jim Morrison, whom Kelleher credits with playing a part in reviving the Jeep brand.
He was an integral part of that.
Yeah, this is the exact Gladiator that I have, but mine is black. I have the Mojave.
We've lost some guys that know how to sell cars in North America, and they left for 2 reasons. One is they were being turned down on every initiative they came up with. And then 2 is when they didn't succeed, I think they were taking, extraordinary emotional beatings over it. They were led to think that they failed, even though they were handed a shotgun with 1 bullet and asked to go and shoot 6 deer.
Is that a Hellcat? No, it's a 392. Why is a 392 on the track, bro? That doesn't belong on the track. That belongs in a straight line or in a sideshow takeover type thing.
So in the short term, Stellantis needs to sell more cars and clear out dealer lots. Long term, critics say Stellantis doesn't have enough fresh product and the right kind of product.
And that's what Marchionne understood. That,
what is this nonsense?
To build a dynamic lineup, and you needed to have a plan that replace these cars on a regular regimen. And I don't think we have that plan right now.
No, you don't.
There are several vehicles on the way. The company plans to replace the Cherokee with a new SUV in 2025. It is one of several new products
Recon
slated for release in the
now. Hold on, guys.
SUV in 2025. It is one of.
All right, so I definitely love this Recon. All right, it's small. I do think that, like, within my community of like off-roading Jeep guys, right? We go out like 40 deep, let's say. We fill up all the highways together. But I think it'll do very well because, all right, the doors come off. Right, like they come off like they do on like my Wrangler, for example. The top does not come off, but the doors do come off along with the back windows and things like that. So you still do have that open air experience in the Jeep. And obviously it's going to be lifted. It's a fully trail rated. You can put like 35s on it stock, without like a lift. Like, I think that this is going to do very well. To be honest, I think this will do very well. This is like some innovation. It's definitely not going to replace the Wrangler at all, right? But as like a secondary or tertiary, like Jeep, I think this is a really good product. This one here, I can't wait to see it in person. Seriously.
Several new products slated for release in the coming years.
I'm not too happy about that 2-liter turbo though.
Are struggling in the US right now. There is a lot of innovation coming down the pipeline.
The Jeep Recon, an electric SUV that would compete with products from companies like Rivian.
This is new information. I think I read about it like multiple months ago. I did not know that it was completely EV. Never mind.
The revamped Charger is set to hit dealers by the end of 2024, including the electric version. Even Chrysler is set to have at least 3 new products starting in 2026, including an electric Pacifica minivan and 2 electric crossovers. Ram is slated to release a fully electric pickup and another truck called the Ram Charger. It's electric, but comes with an onboard generator that charges the battery. This helps with towing and long-distance travel.
Okay. Wait a second. So I was actually looking at the Cybertruck when it first came out, when the price was actually normal, and then they raised it, and I was just like, hard pass, right? Seriously. But then I saw people started getting them, and they started towing things, and I tow things with my vehicles. I tow things, and they're like, listen, you're gonna get like 100 miles on a full truck, but I don't want that nonsense. Guys. Now, if there is an onboard generator, okay, that could change a lot, right? But you're still kind of using gas. No, I mean, you're using less gas, but you're still using gas. Now, I do like the torque idea of EVs, but it's just the longevity. Like, I mean, I feel as if you can't do cross-country trips in these things. And it stresses me out a little bit.
Range is important and all that.
That's why I'm anti-EV.
That's one of the things that has been keeping a lot of potential electric truck customers from, pulling the trigger.
There are competitive products already in the lineup. Jeep's 4xe hybrid technology can go 20 or 30 miles on electric power.
Yeah.
Stellantis' plug-in hybrids, including the Wrangler 4xe, are top sellers.
Mostly these are being used to go get groceries or pick up the kids from school or go to work. But nevertheless, that's a technology that is been selling very well.
Jeep is on a tear, a lot of new product, and can generate a lot of interest and excitement.
Upcoming products are too heavy on EVs for Kelleher's taste.
Yeah.
I think either Mr. Tavares or somebody has got to take a more aggressive strategy on what our product plans are and understand that electric,
market,
if it's an immediate product plan, is going to be a complete failure.
Yeah.
However, Stellantis' new Stella platform can accommodate gas-burning internal combustion vehicles, hybrids, and EVs. Okay. When Stellantis introduced the strategy, its inclusion of 3 different powertrains seemed like a waste at a time when EVs were expected to rapidly take over the market.
And I think that flexibility to kind of insulate Stellantis a little bit from the pace of electrification, that's going to be a real benefit in the upcoming years. And what we're seeing right now is kind of a tactical issue, something they'll need to work through. So I think on the strategic side, Stellantis has done a very good job, or as good a job as an automaker can in these challenging times. But they took their eye off the ball in North America, and it will take probably another 6 to 12 months to correct that.
We'll see.
Stellantis declined CNBC's request for an interview, but said that it built an action plan designed to turn the corner in the second half and beyond. Stellantis also said in a public response to the dealer letter, "We have started a path that will prove successful. We will continue to work with our dealers to avoid any public disputes that will delay our ability to deliver results and reduce dealer inventory by 100,000 vehicles by the beginning of 2025.
Okay.
The plan takes into account input from our dealer partners, and those efforts are paying off.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be super honest here. Now, Jeep specifically has a gigantic amount of inventory on all of their lots. It's nuts, actually. There are still brand new 2023s on people's lots. Right? They are not selling. And it's because they're not lowering the price at all, right? I mean, if you're wondering why people are not going out and buying your vehicles, it's because you got super comfortable, you loved those profits and thought that that was going to be a forever thing. The guy at the dealership even said, "We all knew this was temporary." You thought it was temporary because you're forgetting that there's an entity out there that just likes taking advantage of the American people. Boom, in walks Stellantis, right? A foreign company that is taking advantage of the American people. You do realize that the prices of these vehicles are not the same prices in their countries, right? It's not, because the populace cannot afford what they're trying to gouge from the United States of America. They're saying they made record profits. They only made record profits here, right? They're treating North America like a cash cow, and it's absolutely pitiful. And so I'm going to go ahead and say that Stellantis deserves every single bit of what has come to them, right? Their stock prices plummeted and no one is buying their vehicles large scale any longer. Why do I want to spend $100,000 on a Jeep? Again, I'm going to keep saying this because that's the reality, all right? Look at the price of the Rubicon $392, okay, and explain that, right? That doesn't make any sense. I'm sorry, it just doesn't. It's silly. Who's spending that on that? That's wild, right? On a vehicle that most likely is going to be in the shop often. Okay, but now, if they do make some type of plan that can get some of the inventory off the dealers, then I'm sure people will then be like, you know what? Yeah, let's go ahead and actually trade something in for something newer. Why? Because you're actually not trying to, price gouge us any longer. You think that we're stupid, obviously. Well, I mean, I think most people outside of the United States of America, unfortunately, do think that we're stupid based off of some of the conversations that I've had while being in Europe. They think that we're idiots. You're just going to keep buying. You guys are consumers, fat consumers, basically. And now look what's happening. Again, Stellantis deserves every single bit of what has come to them. All right? But listen, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Enjoy your day thoroughly. Guys, before we go, are you guys subscribed to the other channels? Logical Movie Reviews with Mr. L. Boyd along with Mr. L. Boyd Music. Both are found in the description. Check it out.